What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we are working on putting hitches in the truck this weekend because my turbo is delayed. The shipping's been delayed due to weather, and my manifold I still haven't gotten yet. So we're gonna do this stuff because I hate having to tow strap the truck around while it's not running, and I need a trailer hitch anyway because I plan on towing. We also got a gooseneck, both from B&W. I will give you guys the part numbers right now so you can screenshot them. Pretty easy to find them online, to be honest with you, but this is 73 to 93 Dodge gooseneck ball and hitch, essentially. It bolts it to the frame, and then the receiver hitch. This is the part number for it. To my knowledge, this is exactly what you need. My big complaint with receiver hitches is a lot of them on first gens hang way too low below the bumper, like 4 to 6 inches, and it looks god awful. And I want something that hugs the bumper, that actually looks worth a dang. So I'm gonna get these put on, so I hopefully that you guys will enjoy this one. This is a little bit different, I guess, and something that everybody might be using. So if, I don't know, maybe help the street truckness of the truck. If you think it's dumb, then I guess skip on, and I'll see you on the next one. But we're gonna go ahead and get this all bolted together because this is kind of odd. This hitch isn't, I don't know, like it's bolted together, but it does have something for it to ride on. So I feel better about that, and that I'm not relying on just the bolts. But we're gonna get that all bolted together and put you guys on time lapse for that real quick. And I'm probably gonna have to charge my camera, but once we get it up in there, we'll also film that. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to try and film all of this and do better than what I have been. All right, guys, so we got the sides put on the hitch. Essentially, there is 9 bolts that are this length. So if you count them, there's 9. You only need 8 of them. And it just goes bolt, and then obviously lock washer, nut. Obviously, with all this stuff in here, it kind of leaves you wondering what goes where, but it does come with instructions. And these plate deals are used to bolt it to the frame. So these first big ones, these are gonna go in the back of the frame rail. On a first gen, they have these big holes that are much bigger than all the other holes. That's why there's a big plate on the bottom. So essentially, what it'll go like is gonna be like this. You're gonna have the bolt, and then this plate sits on top of the frame rail, and then you're gonna put your hitch up there, and this goes under the hitch, the smaller one, and then your hardware, the rest of your hardware, obviously. So these are on the 2 back holes, and then the following holes are going to be these other little spacers. So they are slightly different. I have not looked. The smaller ones, like right here, go on the bottom. So I need to flip this around because this goes on the bottom and I have the other one on the bottom. But I'm gonna put you on the stand down here, and we're gonna throw this thing up there, or attempt to anyway, and at least get it somewhat held up there before we go down and tightening stuff. Alright, so we've got the rear bolts placed in the big holes. You do have to drill holes for this. I should have said that earlier. You do have to drill holes. So the remaining 4 holes do have to be drilled. You just need to center the rear holes up, mark your spots, and then drill for them. This is, I believe, 1/2 inch hardware, so you have to have a pretty good sized drill bit to do so. So just a forewarning. It's probably going to take a 9/16 drill bit in order to make a hole big enough for this. So, especially the collar. The collar usually is a little bit bigger. Well, the collar shouldn't have to go through it, but regardless, I want to make you guys aware of that. So we're going to get the drill. I'm going to mark all my holes first and all that, and then we're going to drill these holes, and yeah, we should be good to go. And then we'll put the bumper on. I went ahead and test fit the bumper. It's like, I don't know, the gap between the bumper, it's not near as bad. I would say it's like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. So it's a lot better than almost 5. which I will take. So fitment wise, so far we're looking good. This is a 70s bumper. Sorry, I got hiccups. This is a 70s bumper, so a normal LE bumper will hang even lower typically. So that's just a little reference there. So we're gonna start drilling. All right, before I start drilling these holes and before Brett gets too far, we're gonna see what Brett's doing, because Brett has finally got to the step of like addressing engine stuff, because the truck is pretty well ready as far as all of our wiring shenanigans that you guys saw in the last video. So the engine is on a stand. He received a head from D&J today or yesterday, and obviously a lot goes into kind of making an engine look pretty and all that good stuff. So the oil, obviously drained the oil and kind of started brake cleaning the stuff off, so the big grime, because there was lots of oil around these areas. Basically all that we are doing here is the engine is getting resealed. So the timing case is leaking, so the cam's got to come out. So we were just like, well, let's just put it on a stand, flip it over, pull the cam out, so we don't have to worry about tappets, and we'll reseal this bad boy. Obviously with doing all that, we're going to clean up the block really good and then paint it just so everything looks fresh, because I'm assuming, like most D&J heads, that head came painted real nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so it is painted a very nice black. If you guys have got any of the D&J heads before, they have a very nice finish on them when they show up. So obviously you want your bottom end to match that. Right now, what were you doing? Putting bolts up so you can paint them?
Putting bolts up so I know where they're at and how to put them back, and so I can paint them a little bit.
If you guys are doing this in your garage or shop at home, this is a very easy way to do it. And all it takes is cardboard and a Sharpie. You can write on what everything was for, paint it up, make it look good, instead of just putting rusty bolts back on. But yeah, I would say first step will end up being just cleaning all the big stuff off, and then we're going to pull the head off of it. And after we do that, we'll flip it over, pull the pan. Well, are we pulling yeah, we're doing an oil pan, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing it like full reseal basically, for the most part. So that's what he'll be doing. I will hop back to my hitch install, because in all reality this should not take me very long, and the gooseneck ball will take me much longer, because obviously you want to be precise about that. But I don't know, whenever Brett gets to the point of we do reseal, maybe we'll put up on a stand and do time lapse for that too. But that is where we're at as of right now. It is 7:33 on Friday night. Alright guys, so you saw me drilling holes right there. We got them all drilled, deburred, things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the hitch, because I'm going to go ahead and lift the bed up. I would really, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did not pull this all back off and wire wheel the frame and clean up the frame, because that has not been done on this truck yet. So I'm going to wire wheel the frame good, try and clean it up. We're going to drill holes for the gooseneck while we're under there. And yeah, I'm going to move on to that. So this install for the most part is done. Like obviously I have to finish putting the hardware in, but holes are drilled, we're good to go. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next part. I'm really hoping that this frame cleans up good and my holes can get drilled for this, and I can go ahead and set the gooseneck into place. And I don't know if I'll drill a hole in the bed tonight or if we'll wait till tomorrow to do that, but definitely making progress. Definitely happy with it, so we're going to keep chugging along. Okay guys, so I must have not time-lapsed that. I really thought that my camera was recording, but apparently it was just on. So it's very simple to lift the bed off these trucks. You just undo all the bed bolts, and in my case I have a trans cooler bolted to the bottom of the bed, so I had to undo that, which I have nut certs in that, so I just zipped those out and we're good to go. And then we lifted it up. Turns out that is not the order you do this in after looking at the instructions, because I was just assuming I measured from somewhere on the back of the frame forward, and that's where I kind of roughly put that. No. First step, if you are doing this, keep the bed on it. They give you measurements. Let me get my phone out. They give you measurements to measure from the back of the bed, not including the tailgate, and measure forward, and that will mark your center. So we've got a long bed. Obviously, that's all we're gonna have here. A long bed is 48.5 inches to the center. So from the back of the bed forward, you want to measure 48.5 inches. That will be your center to drill your hole. And then based off that, you mark from up there where the center is from that and line up your hitch. Now that would be some up and down application. There's probably an easier way to do that. I had to roll the truck just a little bit so my bed didn't hit the cab. So I'm gonna have to set this thing back down and line up the bed bolt holes and make sure that's right before I go wild drilling hole saws in my bed, because that has not been done yet. But yes, I did the first step of this wrong, so make sure that you do that first. I've got the plate sitting there. That's probably a rough idea where it's gonna be. And from what I can tell, they leave an edge on one lip because the frame is not gonna be flat here no matter what generation of truck, I'm pretty sure. So that lip goes forward to keep the plate level. And then obviously we're gonna have to drill our holes. There's a whole bunch of hardware. We're gonna get there, but I'm gonna set this back down and start over because I did not read the instructions first. And to be quite honest with you, I've never put in an actual gooseneck ball like this, I guess. So they've just always been on the truck already. So we're gonna get to that point and I will get back. All right, bed is back down. And like I said earlier, 48.5 inches to the center. You can see that little spot that I've got cleaned off there. That is 48.5 inches from the back of the bed. And then between fender wells on my truck, it was 51 inches on the dot. Half of 51 is 25.5. So 25.5 inches is measured that over to center, and that's where X marks the spot. That is where the pilot hole for the hole saw needs to be. I measured the diameter of the gooseneck, which is laying over here. So this diameter right here is 4 inches on the dot. You can use a 4-inch hole saw and take a burr bit and ream it out a little bit just so you can get it to sit on there. That's probably your best bet, really, but that is what I'm going to start out with. And yeah, I'm gonna drill that. I need to look at the instructions to make sure there's nothing else I'm supposed to do first, but that should get us started. Wow.
What do you have to say about that?
It took a little longer than I thought, honestly. I grabbed the Milwaukee hole saw because I thought that'd be better and it was brand new, but we've got a ton of hole saws over in the fab shop. And I think I should have grabbed a different one. But we got it. This was a 4 1/4 hole saw. Hopefully it'll be just right because the diameter of the gooseneck ball deal I showed you guys was right at 4 inches, so that should give it a little room to slide over. I'm gonna deburr this and lift it up and set that back on and move the hitch around to where it's centered up in there, and we'll mark for our holes. And I guess that's how you're supposed to do it. I haven't read the instructions again, but that's what I'm gathering right now. So I will fill you in once I know. Alright guys, so after some fighting this thing, we've got it centered. So basically what I did was set the bed back down, shimmy it around till all the bed bolt holes lined up, and I tightened them down. And then at that point, once this is centered in your hole, you just have to make sure that the ends are square with the end of the frame, and I just checked that against the bed rail basically and got it to where both measurements matched. So basically now I need to undo the bed bolts, lift the bed back up, and we can start drilling the frame. What I'm gonna do once I get the bed off and before I start drilling is C-clamp it to the frame so it can't move, and mark where I want to drill, and we'll start drilling. And that's going to be a lengthy process because you got to drill through the gooseneck plate itself, and that's pretty thick. So that is our next objective. It is 12:15 at night right now, and I was really wanting to get those holes drilled and this thing bolted down before I left, or at least the holes drilled so I can work on prepping the frame and so I can paint it tomorrow. Which tomorrow we got some fun stuff to do, so I won't be able to do that till tomorrow night, and then work on it more Sunday. But that is where I'm at right now. So we're about to lift up this thing again and go at it. Okay, I wanted to give you guys an update before I go home. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and I've decided to call it quits. So we got the holes drilled. I would say, I think we're good. I don't know, I drilled them out to 1/2 inch. They want you to drill them to 9/16, I believe, to accept this carriage bolt, which is fair, I guess. I mean, I might drill them to 9/16 tomorrow, but that's all I'm going to do tonight because I've got to get up pretty decently early tomorrow because we've got some fun coming to the channel tomorrow. I'm excited for that video, but I think I'm going to call it good here, and we don't have a 9/16 bit that is worth a crap, quite frankly, because our good set only goes up to 1/2 inch, so that's probably where I'm going to call that. And tomorrow I should be able to either drill these out the rest of the way to 9/16, and then I will start wire wheeling parts of the frame that I think need cleaned up and throwing a coat of paint on the back half of the frame since it's looking pretty rough. I might fork it over and power wash it just to get all the shit out of all the frame rails and things like that because it's pretty filled. But that is a project for tomorrow and Sunday, not tonight. So Brett got some stuff done, kind of. We're both very tired, but his engine is apart. He's got her all covered up now, but he's got the cam out, the timing case off. Sounds like the washer is running, and he's got parts on the washer. So a lot of that stuff is taken care of right now and getting cleaned up. The head has cracks all over it, so maybe we might just find some of that horsepower. I don't know how much the cracks are really good for, but overall it was just leaking. So we'll see if we can find some of that horsepower that we left off in our last dyno run. But like I said, we're calling it a night. We're calling it good. We'll get back to the shenanigans tomorrow. Andy will be up here tomorrow. He's driving up from Missouri, and we will have Colt here tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Gonna do a lot of filming tomorrow. Should be interesting, but we're calling it a night. So we will see you guys in the morning. Alright guys, just a quick disclaimer. I'm going to clean some of the frame off with this thing. I despise these things, but at Napa, the problem was for the ones that go on the big grinder, like a normal size grinder with a 5/8 arbor on it, that are the good braided ones that they hurt when they stick into your leg, but they work very well and they make quick work of stuff. Yeah, one of those was $40 in Napa and not the $10 they used to be. And I'm kind of a tight ass these days, and I don't care to do that. So I'm gonna clean up the places I think need cleaned up. And then we're gonna spray bond this thing. I'm obviously gonna cover up my shocks, cover up my traction bars, all that stuff, but I just want it to look better. It's already looking 10 times better now that we power washed the frame, so I'm very happy with that. A whole bunch of stuff came off. And yeah, that's where we're at. We're gonna get after it. I don't have a ton of battery left, so I'll probably show you guys what it looks like after I wire wheel it, and then probably if I film anything, it'll be of me painting it. So maybe a little bit more entertaining to watch. I don't know. We'll try it. Alright guys, I went ahead and buttoned up stuff, and by that I mean I just set the bed back on, got it bolted down, bolted my transcooler to the bottom of the bed, threw our bumper on, and that is pretty much it. I did not do the drilling of the safety chain holes yet, but we will do that tomorrow. It is about 7:30 on a Sunday, so I need to get home and do some laundry. But we're gonna get this thing pulled out of the shop, and we will continue to work on it this week. Gonna try and wrap up everything to do with that tomorrow, as Tuesday my turbo is supposed to show up, so I believe that then we will be moving back to the engine bay. This was actually something that needed done, especially the painting the frame. I had just been completely consumed by trying to make power and all this good stuff, and I just neglected all of what I actually needed to do. So now that that's done, I am very happy. Hopefully eventually, it's not ideal for sled pulling because you would want to tuck it up in there more based off your association's rules, but this is good enough for me. It'll at least let me get to try and do that eventually, and if tow a bumper pull if I need to, which is not very often. And then the gooseneck ball obviously is what I would prefer and typically tow with, so I am very happy with it. To drill the safety chain holes, because I'm not going to show you guys doing that, you can go from the bottom. It's very easy access. Just mark them, center punch them, drill the hole with the, or drill the pilot hole, and then drill the hole with the 1/2" drill bit, and throw your safety chain deals in. They're spring loaded pieces. I must have put them in the cab already. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm not going to drag this one on with just doing that the next day and showing you guys that. So that has wrapped up all the hitch install. Not awful overall, and this is probably one of the best hitch options for a receiver hitch that I've seen for first gen stuff, because it is not dragging the ground completely. Still about 2 inches roughly under the bumper. And like I said, with an LE bumper, it'd probably cover up more of it, but with the 70s bumper, they usually sit a little bit higher and tuck up a little bit, and they don't sag near as bad as the other bumpers, or the LE bumpers. So I'll take it. I will see you guys in the next video, and it should be throwing maybe turbo setup on. We'll see. Peace out. See you guys later. Have a good week.